Hey, this is Beverly Bozeman. I am the creator of the About Her Ministry YouTube channel and the recently released international best-selling book, Diary of a First Lady, Shiloh Grammar. Happy Monday, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Be sure and share this broadcast with your friends and your family. Be sure and like and subscribe to this channel so that you will get notifications of when I am on with this information and my shenanigans. So my broadcast today is entitled Stop Holding Yourself Hostage. So the other day I was thinking about how I wanted to take a trip to Europe, and those thoughts led to other thoughts, about the past and other thoughts. It was kind of like the domino effect, right? And it brought me to maybe 9, 10, or 11 years ago when I was upset about some stuff, right? And I had some friends that I could always call and tell them I'm upset about whatever, and they would, girl, I know it, XYZ. They were kind of like in the amen corner. Girl, yeah, I know it, XYZ, da 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 da. And he this and he that and she this and she that. They weren't interested in getting me straight. It was just, girl, I know it, just whatever. And one of my rants at that time was the fact that I wanted to go to Spain, but I never did. And the jacked up part is I was living in Europe, but I didn't really travel. And so I was kind of angry at my ex-husband. It was a whole bunch of stuff and a whole bunch of reasons why I lived in Europe with him, and I didn't, really get to see a whole lot of Europe. And I, at that time, was blaming him. And so being on the phone with those friends and telling them, like, if I saw a movie about somebody traveling to Spain or Paris or anywhere in Europe that I had wanted to go, I would get on the phone, girl, I'm watching this movie and this chick is over here in Spain and that could have been me, and da da da. Next thing you know, it would turn into a bashing session, and then we went off on another tangent, and it was just, and at the time, all that I knew was I'm the victim, right? He did this, he didn't do that, and this is what happened. And while I was over there, so-and-so could have come to visit, and I did this, and this person that worked at this place, I was just blaming a lot of people for the reason why I didn't tour Europe while I was there. This was, 10, 12 years ago, whatever. And so when I was thinking about Spain the other day, my mind went to that time period, and I was like, wow. I stayed angry for a long time about a whole lot of stuff. And because I was wondering, like, my next birthday, God sparing the creek don't rise, I'll be 50. And I was like, how did 50 get here so fast? And then my mind began to think about how I wanted to go to Europe. And then my mind went to that time when I was blaming everybody and I was angry, blaming my ex-husband for not letting me or helping me travel Europe. And I think that was God's way, because I was talking to him about, me turning 50. And I think that was God's way of saying, this is where your time went. You took all of this specific time period, these years, and you were angry at him, you was angry at this other person, you were angry at yourself, and time was just moving. You were here and you were angry. And anybody who would listen about your anger and your frustration and your sob stories, because I had a lot of them, it caused you to stay right here, and time was just going on down the road. And that's why, you're about to turn 50 and you're like, what happened to the time? You held yourself hostage in that time frame, in that moment, in that bundle of anger. And there were valid reasons The reasons were valid. Call them excuses. The excuses were valid or whatever. But they held me hostage. No, I held myself hostage in that mess. And God kind of revealed that to me when I asked. And here's the thing. We tend to do that. We tend to hold ourselves hostage in a moment. And we turn it into moments because it affects the next phase, or it infects the next season of our lives, or it infects the next year. And the next thing you know, 5 years has gone by and we still mad about the same foolishness, right? So here's the problem with holding ourselves hostage. We get stuck in time. And we look up kids about to graduate. So-and-so is having their 25th anniversary. And it seemed like you were just throwing rice at their head the other day when they said I do. So-and-so is retiring and you like, didn't she just get a promotion? She's ready to retire. We just stay locked into this particular time frame and in a specific state of mind and in a certain level of pain, and there's no good that can come out of it. That's the problem. So this is why holding yourself hostage is a problem. And if you don't know what I mean by holding yourself hostage, now, again, there could be valid reasons as to why you're upset that somebody did X, Y, and Z to you. Or you could be angry with yourself for doing X, Y, and Z or allowing it to be done. And we will have points of reference that we see every day or we hear. We get into a car that we used to ride somebody in. We go past a certain neighborhood that we used to visit so-and-so. We just have these reminders, and then our minds go back to that negative time. It goes backwards or it stands still. It doesn't move forward to like, yeah, I got XYZ amount of years to retirement. I'm going to focus on what I'm going to do with the next phase of my life. Or my child is getting ready. My last child's getting ready to graduate and I'm going to be an empty nester. I'm ready to see the world. We're not focusing on that. We will have that trigger, right? And then we will allow that trigger to pull us back or make us mark time. Like if you see like the kids that are in the marching band and they have to mark time, that means they're marching in place, waiting on the band director to tell them what to do next. They're moving, but they're not going anywhere. Or we're going backwards. And here's the funny part about it. The people that we are upset with, the people that we will get on the phone and run down and girl, do you know what he did? And do you remember X, Y, Z? These folks have moved on with their lives. I was angry about the situation with my ex-husband and he had moved on. I wasn't upset that he had moved on, but it didn't click. It didn't click up here. It's like no matter what happened with y'all back then, he has moved forward and you marking time. You marking time like you in the band, honey. Like you in a Christmas parade, just marking time. And this brother has gone on with his life. You need to take note of that. That didn't come to my mind. Or did it? I believe that if we spend time with God, we turn off the TV, we get off of social media, put our phones down, and we quiet our minds, we will receive such revelations. We will receive the answers that we're always running to the phone for. We know a lot of answers. We just don't want to accept the fact that they are the answers that we have been asking God for or that we have just been seeking. They're like, that can't be it. Or he'll get away with it. Or she will be on top yet again and I'm still on the bottom. You know, it's those type of things that we don't want to admit to, right? So that's why holding ourselves hostage is a problem, because we just stuck. And whoever we're mad with or whatever, they're moving on. So the resolution that's needed to stop holding ourselves hostage is to create a custom way of escape. And what I mean by that is, if you look at all of these action or adventure movies, right? And the person or the people who are the victims, or who need to escape, somehow or another, they use the tools that are nearby to break the window out. Or they'll use something to create a diversion. So the bad guys will be looking over there and they're going over there. They use whatever is in their area, whatever they have been trained for, whatever they can do as a means of escape or survival to get out of there. So if you want to stop holding yourself hostage, and then you won't be like me wondering what in the world happened to my time, you will look at your situation. First, you have to admit, based upon your situation, that you are holding yourself hostage by remembering and continuously reliving and rehashing, talking about those things or that situation that you should have let go a long time ago. Long time ago could have been yesterday. It's not always 10, 15, 30 years ago. Sometimes it could be yesterday. That's a long time ago. When you are trying to move forward and you're trying to be better and obtain the very best out of life, anything that's a part of your past, that's got to be a long time ago. Because if somebody comes up to you with something that you did or said in high school and you've been out of high school for 30 years, you're like, but that was a long time ago. Why are they still bringing that up? You have to have that very same mentality about what you are allowing to take place in your life when you are the culprit. You just got to. So looking at your situation, you have to first admit that you are holding yourself hostage. And you have to understand that by you holding yourself hostage, you are marking time and life is moving forward. Life is moving forward. People are moving forward. And as I always say, you will wake up and it'll be this time next year and you're still in the same boat. So the part of the rescue plan that you have to create for yourself is to look at who is in your circle. If you have some yes men, some yes women, those who are going to listen and pat you on the back when they know you are wrong like two left shoes, you got to stop telling them those things. I'm not telling you to leave them alone. That's your choice. But you have to stop feeding them things where they're going to support you in those bad thoughts that will keep you in that hostage situation. You got to stop talking about it. Fine, you can always find something to do that's going to occupy your mind on another level and in a different direction. If you have to go and volunteer somewhere and see somebody who's worse off than you, there is no way that you can continue talking about the foolishness that happened years ago when you were helping somebody who just got beaten by their spouse. And now they're running for their lives. There's no way. There's just no way. But you got to start with admitting that you are holding yourself hostage. And then you got to realize the effect of that. And then you have to create the plan that is specific for your escape. Use your environment. That calls for a lot of self-honesty. It really is. So anyways, that's about it. That's all that I came up with, in my thought process the other day. And I just wanted to share it because I just am hoping that what I have discovered can help somebody else to help themselves and then go to help somebody else. Anyways, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. And be sure to share the broadcast and go and check out my website, www.beverlybozeman.com, and you will find my books there, and you will find some clips to some other videos to where I just have some information that I am sharing. And be sure to release your genius, pull out the impossible every day. Remember, you will have whatever it is that you say. So let's be like-minded ladies, glamorous, godly girls.